Rainforests, like the Amazon, cover about 5.5 million square kilometers, and getting lost in one is easier than you'd think because the canopy above you blocks out almost 90% of sunlight, making it hard to tell direction or even time of day. The first problem you'd face is disorientation. Without the sun as a reference point, your sense of direction breaks down fast, and most people who get lost end up walking in circles without realizing it. Then there's the humidity, which sits above 80% almost constantly, making it exhausting just to move, let alone think clearly. The real danger, though, comes from what's living around you. The Amazon alone is home to over 400 species of venomous snakes, and while most avoid humans, stepping on one by accident is a real risk. Food and water aren't as scarce as you'd expect, since rain is frequent, but finding clean water is another story. Most streams are contaminated with bacteria that can cause severe illness within days. Nighttime brings a whole new problem. Temperatures drop, and the sounds of the forest become deafening, making sleep almost impossible. On top of that, predators like jaguars are most active after dark. Without proper navigation tools, a person can survive physically for weeks, but the psychological toll of not knowing which direction leads out is often what breaks people first. Deserts might seem like the opposite of a rainforest, but getting lost in one is just as dangerous, if not more, because of how quickly conditions can kill you. Daytime temperatures in places like the Sahara regularly hit 50 degrees Celsius, and that heat alone can cause heat stroke within just a few hours. Without shade or water, the human body loses moisture fast, around 1 to 1.5 liters per hour in extreme heat, which means dehydration sets in far quicker than most people expect. What makes deserts especially tricky is how featureless they look. Sand dunes shift constantly, reshaping the landscape, so any landmarks you might rely on could be gone within a day. Mirages caused by heat distorting light can also trick you into thinking water or shelter is nearby when it's not. Then night falls, and everything flips. Temperatures can drop below 0 degrees Celsius in a matter of hours, catching people completely unprepared. Sandstorms are another major threat, with winds strong enough to reduce visibility to almost zero and bury tracks within minutes, making it nearly impossible to backtrack. The combination of extreme heat, exhaustion, sudden cold, and total disorientation is what makes deserts one of the deadliest places to be lost in. Cave systems. Cave systems take getting lost to a whole different level because once you're deep enough, there's no natural light at all, not even a trace. Some cave networks, like Mammoth Cave in the US, stretch over 676 kilometers of mapped passages, and that's still not the full length. The darkness itself becomes disorienting fast without a working light source. Most people become completely incapacitated, unable to even walk safely. Then there's the maze-like structure, countless tunnels branching off in every direction. Many caves also have unstable ceilings and floors. Loose rocks can shift or collapse without warning, and a fall in complete darkness could easily be fatal. Temperature inside caves tends to stay cool and consistent, usually between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius, which sounds mild, but prolonged exposure without proper clothing can still lead to hypothermia over time. Water is often present too, whether it's flooding narrow passageways or entire underground rivers cutting off your only path forward. The deeper you go, the more oxygen levels can also become a concern in poorly ventilated sections. Rescue in these situations is incredibly difficult, since search teams often can't use standard equipment and have to navigate the same treacherous terrain you got lost in. Open ocean. The open ocean is unlike any other place to get lost in because there's no land, no landmarks, and often no clear sense of direction at all. If you're stranded on the surface, the first major threat is exposure. Water temperatures below 21 degrees Celsius can lead to hypothermia in a matter of hours, even in relatively mild conditions. Dehydration is another massive risk, since drinking seawater actually accelerates it due to the high salt content. Then there's the sheer scale of the ocean, covering about 71% of Earth's surface, which makes the odds of being spotted by a passing ship or plane incredibly slim without a distress signal. Beneath the surface, things get even dangerous. Getting lost underwater, whether through a cave dive gone wrong or drifting too far from a boat, means dealing with rapidly changing pressure. Every 10 meters you descend adds another atmosphere of pressure, which can cause serious harm if you ascend too quickly. Visibility can also drop to near zero in deeper or murkier water, making it impossible to know which way is up. Predators aren't usually the main concern, despite what movies suggest. The real killers are time and exposure. A person can survive for days without food, but without fresh water and shelter from the elements, the ocean gives you very little room for error. Mountains. High-altitude mountain ranges present a unique kind of danger because the environment actively works against you. The higher you go, the thinner the air becomes. Above 8,000 meters, you enter what's known as the death zone, where oxygen levels are only about a third of what they are at sea level. This makes clear thinking and even basic movement incredibly difficult, which is exactly how people end up wandering off marked paths. Temperatures can plummet to below -40 degrees Celsius, especially at night, and combined with strong winds, the wind chill can make it feel even colder. Whiteout conditions during snowstorms are one of the biggest causes of people getting lost, since visibility can drop to just a few meters, making it impossible to see landmarks or even your own tracks. Frostbite can set in within minutes in exposed skin, and altitude sickness can cause confusion, nausea, and poor decision-making, which only increases the risk of taking a wrong turn. Avalanches are another constant threat, capable of burying a person in seconds with little warning. What makes mountains especially unforgiving is that rescue often isn't quick. Even if a signal gets out, reaching someone stranded at extreme altitude can take hours or even days if it's possible at all. Polar ice sheets. The Arctic and Antarctic are some of the most isolating places on Earth to get lost in, simply because of how empty they are. Antarctica alone is about 98% covered in ice, with almost no natural landmarks to navigate by. Temperatures regularly drop below -40 degrees Celsius in winter, and in the most extreme recorded cases have gone as low as -89 degrees Celsius. At those temperatures, exposed skin can develop frostbite in under 5 minutes. One of the strangest challenges here is the lack of a normal day-night cycle. During certain seasons, the sun never fully sets or never rises at all, which throws off your sense of time completely. Blizzards can reduce visibility to almost nothing, and the flat white landscape makes it incredibly easy to lose all sense of direction, even with a compass, since magnetic readings near the poles can be unreliable. Ice itself is unpredictable. Thin sections can give way without warning, dropping a person into freezing water below, where survival time is often measured in minutes rather than hours. Food sources are almost non-existent unless you know exactly where to look, and shelter has to be built rather than found. In an environment this harsh, even a short period of being lost can turn fatal fast. Underground tunnels. Underground tunnel networks, whether abandoned mines, old subway systems, or man-made sewer lines, share a lot in common with cave systems, but come with their own added dangers. Structural collapse is a much bigger concern here, since these spaces weren't shaped by nature, but built, often decades or even centuries ago, meaning materials can weaken, corrode, or give way without warning. Air quality is another serious issue. Stagnant tunnels can trap toxic gases or simply run low on oxygen, especially in enclosed sections with poor ventilation. The maze-like layout of interconnecting passages makes navigation confusing fast, and unlike caves, there's often man-made debris, old equipment, or unstable flooring, adding extra hazards. Water is a common problem too. Flooding in lower sections happens frequently and can rise unexpectedly, cutting off escape routes. In many ways, it's a man-made twin to cave systems, just with extra risks layered on top.